A couple of videos ago we reviewed this small 16 watt RGB light, but when we need more power, light and colour, we've been using this massive light. Today we're going to be reviewing the LEDGO G260 watt RGB LED studio light. Welcome to the film look. The size of this light is massive. The light source is 67cm by 38cm and the main body of the light is all made out of metal. The corners, handle and other parts of the light are all made out of plastic, but in no way does this make it feel like a cheap product. The output of this light is 260 watts, and with the light being so big, it creates a large soft source. On the front of the light, there is a frosted panel which diffuses the light. You also get barn doors to help shape the light. On the back of the light are all of the controls. It's super easy to get familiar with the interface and control each setting, as the buttons, dials and screen layout are simple. One downside to this light is that it does not come with a remote, and you have to buy an extra control to control the settings via Wi-Fi. We've used a bunch of aperture lights in the past which all come with a remote as standard. If your light is up high, changing the settings will be a bit of a pain. The light can be controlled by a DM export, but very few people have one of those. You can dial the colour temperature of this light from a tungsten, 2700 Kelvin, to 7500 Kelvin, which is very blue. The best feature of this setting is the ability to add green or magenta. If you're using other lights which have a green or magenta tint, you can match these lights with the other light sources in your scene. Then you can correct the colour in your camera's white balance settings or in post-production. The HSI mode allows you to cycle through 360 colours and change the saturation of those colours. The numbers of the 360 colour wheel match up with this small RGB light we reviewed a couple of weeks back. So if we set both lights to 270 degrees, we know both of them will give us the same purple light. The RGBW mode allows you to fine-tune the RGB colours and add more of one colour than another. If you just want a tungsten light, it has a mode for that too. There is a fluorescent mode which has a warmer, cooler and a neutral preset, so you can match the light up with the other lights in your scene, which comes in very handy if you cannot control the other lights in your scene, for example if you're shooting in an office. Where this light shines are the pre-built-in effects modes. They allow you to create and fake different lighting conditions at a click of a button. In each different effect, there are controls to change and customize the brightness, speed and color type. The storm effect allows you to create a storm. By changing the frequency and speed, you can control how violent the storm is. Showing a cop car in your film is going to be very expensive, so unless it is completely necessary to show the car, using the cop car lighting effect will save you a lot of time and money. The flash of the red and blue lights are probably enough of a clue to your audience that there's a police presence in your scene. We've been testing out the disco modes for our next short film, 60 Seconds. The two main characters are trying to defuse a bomb and things are going a little crazy. The soft disco mode has a longer transition between the colours, where the hard disco mode flashes between the different colours. Once we've made the film, we're going to be breaking down the lighting setup, so if you haven't already, consider subscribing. The other lighting effects this light has is a candle or fire mode, which we use to fake this camping setup. The light is slowly flickering, and to make it look like a fire, we just waved our arms in front of it. To find the full specs and all of the different controls of this light, I've added a link in the description to the manual of the G260. We've only used this light in our studio and to test our next short film, 60 Seconds. Most of the time this light has been around 10 or 20% brightness, and it is definitely built to be used on bigger sets and studio sound stages. In our small studio, we did have difficulty controlling the spill of the light from hitting the walls. You can get a honeycomb grid which attaches to the front to help with that, so if we do get one, we'll include it in a follow-up video. The light weighs 11 kilograms, but because of the size of the light, you need two people to set it up and mount it onto a C-stand. You can also get a hard case for the light, which is necessary to transport it safely. It's called a studio light, which is the main place we've been using it, and we've been powering it from the wall socket. It also has two V-lock mounts on the back, so you can actually use it anywhere. The price of this light looks like a scary number. It's not really for indie filmmakers who shoot run and gun stuff. The LEGO G260 is for people who have a budget, working on bigger films, and for people who need a light that can just do about anything, therefore saving them time. The nearest competitor to this light, which has a similar size and functionality, are the Iris Sky panels. I've never used one, but from the outside they look like they can do just about everything the LEGO light can do. But the Sky panels are more than twice the price and then add a little bit more. I've never used an Iris Sky panel, but I am going to say that the LEGO light looks like it has a better price to performance. This light gives you a lot of creative freedom at a turn of a button. There are some DIY solutions to some of the effects this light can produce, and you might look at this light and the price and think it's not for you, or you're never going to be able to get access to a light like this for your films. Well, we thought the exact same thing 5 years ago. A light like this was totally out of reach. We started off by using these 160 LEDs, which cost £30. As you make more films, gain experience, work on bigger productions, equipment like this will make your job easier, and you will still use the more expensive equipment alongside the cheap DIY solutions to make your productions even better. This review was our first thoughts and a run through of what this light has to offer. We're going to be using it on our next short films and creating lighting breakdowns, so if you haven't already, consider subscribing, and remember, achieve it one shot at a time.